Oh no, did your dog started ducking away when you pet them, or is suddenly refusing their favorite treat? They might even have started turning their fluffy butt on you when you enter the room. What's going on? These, and 6 more easy-to-miss signs, are a canine version of a cold shoulder, and his video is here to help. Stay tuned till the end, cause we'll cover one extra sign. Most dog owners fear it means being unloved by their dog, but is actually the exact opposite. Sign number 1. Your dog should view getting a treat as, well, a treat. Something nice that they look forward to and are eager to work for. But if you're offering them a slice of cheese or chicken to die for, and your dog does not seem all that excited, that can be a sign that they are upset with you about something. They may be eager at one point, wagging their tail, but then turning up their nose the next moment. What's going on? Your dog is trying to manage 2 competing desires. The desire to snuffle up the delicious treat, and the desire to reject anything you try to give them. Did anything happen recently that makes your dog not trust you? Sometimes, the smallest gestures of inattention or irritation can be hurtful to your dog even if they misbehaved. We'll get to some possible reasons later in this video, but if your pup behaves as usual and is as affectionate as usual, look into the food angle a bit more. First, try a new kind of treat in case your dog is just oversated with their usual bites. Don't hold it against your pup if they're cleverly fishing for a new taste, or just something else you've got cooking that just happens to smell better at the moment. However, if the treat-refusing behavior also extends to their morning or evening meal, especially twice in a row, that might be a sign that has nothing to do with any hidden grudges. A general loss of appetite can be a situational thing, but if it lasts for over 24 hours, it's worth getting your pooch checked out by a vet. Otherwise, you should just be patient. Don't take treats away from your dog if they don't start eating them right away, and be sure to praise your dog as well as giving them food rewards, so that they know that they're getting these things because you're pleased with them. If they still seem unsure, try turning your back or leaving the room while they eat, so that they don't have to feel like they need to guard the food from you. Sign number 2. There is something unexplainably heartbreaking when you, full of love and affection, reach out to pat your best friend, only for them to duck their head or move their whole body out of the way. Dogs are generally more for than against touch, and understand it as the human version of grooming. Sure, some dogs can have a general dislike of any human touch, having had bad experiences in their past, and therefore associating a reaching hand with danger. But 90% of the time, touch avoidance in dogs is paradoxically caused by overabundance of affection. Take those heartfelt hugs. That's one common human gesture that we humans associate only with positive emotions, but dogs misinterpret as something opposite. Being grabbed and squeezed in somebody's arms, that's how they see it. So to your dog, the more emotional a hug, the more weird and uncomfortable it is. Also, your dog, as most pooches, might not like being petted on the head. It is a natural place for a human to reach, but to them it can feel a tad predatory, especially since it usually involves us looming ominously above them. Perhaps they tolerated it before, because while one of your hands was hovering over their head, another was holding a treat, or they were generally more relaxed at the time. But if your pup has stopped leaning into your pets and hugs, next time you reach for them, completely avoid the more sensitive areas of their body, like the top of the head, the paws, or the tail. Instead, focus only on the back and neck, and always give your dog a chance to sniff your hand before you pet them, as this will make them more comfortable. Sign number 3. When you walk into the room, how does your dog react? Do they wag their tail, come to greet you, bark, hello, or do they leave the room? A dog who leaves the room whenever you enter it is clearly displaying avoidance behavior. The trick to making your dog stop avoiding you is to ensure that they have some reason to enjoy your company. They need to start associating you with fun, positive things so that they start to see you as a fun, positive person. Try initiating play sessions or offering them treats. Speak calmly when you do this, and don't chase after your dog or try to force the interaction if they try to move away. Let your dog know that you're always there if they want to interact, but that they don't have to worry about you getting too close too fast. If you're calm and patient, eventually your dog should start closing the distance between you. Sign number 4. Dogs love to sleep in puppy piles. As a social species, being surrounded by members of their pack makes them feel calm and safe. So if your dog is refusing to ever sit or sleep near you, preferring to take a nap at the other end of the room, or even the other end of the house, then that's a problem. It's not necessarily a personality problem, however. Not lying next to each other is certainly a barrier for physical and emotional closeness with your dog, but there are a few reasons why it can happen. Sometimes it can be caused by a dog feeling nervous or uncomfortable around their human, but sometimes it can have a more mundane explanation, like you keep sitting in places where there's no obvious room for your dog to join you, or you've started using a detergent or shampoo with a scent that dogs hate, like lemon or mint. How to fix this? Well, don't force this kind of thing. Never fall into the trap of following your dog whenever they choose a new sleeping place after you sit near them. If you do, then they'll likely just move again, and you'll end up trailing them all around the house, which is going to be frustrating for both of you. Instead, make sure that wherever you normally sit, there's some comfy place where your dog can sit near you. Leave them a nice spot on the couch or place their basket close to your favorite chair. Also, if this started happening recently, consider whether you changed your detergent or deodorant recently. Dogs have very sensitive noses, and strong smells can quickly get overwhelming for them. Sign number 5. Have you noticed your dog getting possessive over toys, treats, or even just random household objects? They might be physically blocking you from getting at the things with their body, taking the object and running away with it, or growling and barking when you get too close. Dogs do this if they're concerned that their belongings might get stolen and not given back. This type of criminal behavior could actually indicate a deep insecurity in your pet. How to let your dog know that you're not set on stealing their treasures? First, if you see them happily munching on your slipper, don't just snatch it away. This triggers a subconscious desire in your dog to fight back and defend their stuff. If you have to take something from your dog, try offering them an item of equal value in trade. If you need to take away your dog's favorite toy to clean it, for example, then try distracting them with another toy first. Another big thing is, don't tease your dog by doing things like waving treats in front of them, or pretending to throw the ball, but then keeping it in your hand during a game of fetch. Sign number 6. A dog staring at their human is nothing unusual. Dogs use staring to communicate strong emotions, including love. But if roughhousing gets too rough, or if your dog feels wronged by you for whatever reason, a long look can also mean aggression. If your dog's gaze is very intense and their head moves whenever you move, then that suggests that they're tracking your movement. It can be a sign that your dog doesn't fully trust you and feels the need to keep an eye on you in case you do something shifty. Or, in severe cases, it can be a sign that your dog's prey drive has been activated and they themselves may be about to attack. Neither is a good sign. If you notice your pup tracking your movements like this, then once again, the first thing that you should do is give them some space, for both you and your dog's safety. Back away slowly and don't make any sudden movements. Whether your dog is worried about an attack or considering you as a source of food, a sudden move can trigger their instincts and escalate the situation. If this keeps happening, then this is another situation where it might be best to consult a professional dog trainer to help you rebuild your relationship with your dog. Sign number 7. You know that cute thing your dog does with their eyes, where they roll them sideways slightly so that you can see the whites? The thing that makes them look like they're imitating those cute puppies you see on the birthday cards you buy for your mom? Yeah, we're about to ruin that for you. Whale eye or moon eye may look really cute, but it's actually a sign of doggy distress. Other signs include licking their lips, repetitively yawning, or shaking. If you notice these behaviors in your dog, then it can be a sign that they have started having negative feelings about your relationship. The good news is, these behaviors are generally behaviors that dogs engage in when they are actively trying to avoid getting aggressive. Licking and yawning specifically are examples of displacement behaviors that animals use to work off excess frustrated energy in stressful situations, like how some humans will fiddle with their jewelry or wring their hands when they're nervous. Dogs get stressed in situations with unclear boundaries or where they feel like a human is expecting them to do something, but isn't being clear about what. Once again, consistency in training and setting up an established routine can be very helpful here. Sign number 8. When your dog has an unexpected outburst, growling and barking and potentially even lunging and snapping, then it can be scary to witness, especially if you have a big dog. But no matter how scared you are, you can rest assured that your dog is more scared, even if it's not obvious why. Sometimes the answer to this can be that your dog is in distress due to some kind of illness or physical pain. Other times, something could trigger their anxiety, connected to a past even you don't know about. Heck, your dog might not even remember what it's about, but they hear or see something, and the next moment they are on their feet, growling and baring their teeth. If that's the case, the most important thing to do is not to approach them. You might think that petting your dog will calm them down, but if they're already freaked out, then having you start moving towards them and reaching out your hands could potentially be mistaken for an attack. This is how people get bitten. Instead, keep your distance and let your pooch come to you. Speak gently to them and offer them treats and toys to help them see you as a friend. Sign number 9. Your dog probably knows the basic commands like come here, sit, stay, and bathroom. But what if they suddenly act like they're hearing the word for the first time? If your dog is refusing to do what you tell them, and especially if they're refusing to come when called, then that's a sign that your dog, at this particular moment, is having trouble seeing you as somebody who they should trust and listen to. The good news is, it's probably about inconsistency. If you use different commands for the same action, for example, then your dog can become confused and may feel like you're just shouting random words at them rather than actually issuing instructions. If you want your dog to come over, then you should pick one thing that you say to call them, such as their name, or here, or come. Otherwise, if you use all 3 words, then your dog will likely stop hearing the signal and concentrate on the noise. Sign number 10. You might be familiar with the idea of a cat's fur standing on end when they get angry or scared, but did you know that dogs kind of do this as well? They won't get the same all-over puffed up and fluffy look that a mad moggy will get, but you might notice their hackles standing on end. A dog's hackles are the hairs along their shoulders and spine. When they stand up, it can look a bit like your pup has a mohawk. Dogs who are really upset might also hunch their backs to make themselves look bigger. Back away and try talking to your dog in a calming, soothing voice. If they do this when you pet them, then consider getting them checked out by a vet, as they may have some injury or illness that is making being pet uncomfy for them. Whenever a dog seems stressed for no reason, try to make a mental note of what was happening around them right before they freaked out. Dogs see the world very differently from humans, and sometimes things that seem perfectly normal to us can be super scary to them. And here's a sign that most dog owners associate with being unloved by their dog, but is actually a dog's way of communicating the opposite. We've all been there. You come home from a long day at work, and there's your favorite vase smashed on the floor. Or your garbage can has been knocked over, or there's pee on the rug. Usually, dogs know when they did something wrong, not because they feel bad about their mischief, but because they've learned to associate breaking things or peeing on the rug with being in trouble. And they're trying to placate you. So your pup might be hiding from you when you come in, or standing near the scene of the crime, looking guilty and ashamed. Okay, so you probably know that already. But what if your dog has clearly done something wrong, but is acting like it's all cool? Why are they not feeling guilty for causing you trouble? Well, but that's the thing. Dogs just don't feel guilt. What many humans interpret as guilty body language is actually just a dog's way of showing fear or submission. If your dog is not treating a torn-up shoe as a crime story with them as the main hero, that's because they haven't learned to associate this particular event with being in trouble. So your dog, in their mind, has no reason to be placating you. That's one sign that your dog isn't uncaring or indifferent. A dog is a human's best friend. But does it work the other way around? Our dogs behave lovingly towards us, but they can also behave that way towards others. How do you know whether you are special? In this video, we're going to be looking at 12 very specific signs that your dog views you as their best friend.